Hmm. Hello again, one more time. Welcome to the Orange Light Bulb Hangouts. Who knows me? You guys know that I started it during the first lockdown of COVID, hanging out next to my orange wall. Yeah, so again, I will try to look to both directions, to one community of Instagram and to others to YouTube and Facebook. So, Tuesday of answers of your questions that I received, and actually some questions surprised me, but I see that it's pretty much important to talk about it. If people have questions about it, then it means, well, some information is needed, right? So, also, before I start, I want to guys let you know. If you have any question that bothers your mind, occupies your thought space, please just let it go by asking me that question. And during each Tuesday, I will answer during live videos. Also, it's gonna be private, anonymous, so no identity revealed if you worry about it. So anything that is relevant now in your life and you want to improve in your life and you need some, feedback and perception from the outside eye, as I call, then feel free to ask it. I'm here to answer you. And also, what I noticed with people, myself included, that very often we think that we need to deal with our shits alone. And in my case, a couple of years ago, I thought I didn't have anybody to turn to ask for help, to be there for me when I needed the most, right? But now when I see, I just didn't know how to ask, how to open my throat chakra, and how to ask, how to tell that, guys, I'm not feeling good. I need that safe space. Can you please hold it for me? Can you be there for me and to allow me to just open up and to raise those questions that I had? Sometimes it's not even needed the answer, but just the fact to speak up, speak out, to externalize what is internal, it's very, very healthy. And that's why this profession of coaching I really love so much, and I see benefits that it gives to people. So just simply speaking up, speaking out, everything what bothers you, what worries you, what struggles you, it's very healthy because most of the time, I can say from my own experience as well, when I start speaking to others, I start hearing myself. And then I come to epiphany moments just by hearing myself what I'm talking. So yeah, that's the power of speaking actually. By speaking yourself and by allowing others to speak. Because others are also a messengers in our life. If we know how to listen carefully and how to observe the message intuitively, if we stay present, right? So, long introduction, but necessary. And now let's come back to the questions. So, the first question was from a guy, from one ex-flatmate of mine, or no? Yeah, like long ago. And his question first I thought that he's making jokes out of me. And well, I laughed quite nicely, quite well. But then the feeling hit me that no, it's not a joke. I remembered actually how I had the same, I was around the people who were having the same discussion. So really, this question bothers some people. They try to understand how it goes. So the question is, how many times, how often should I have sex with my partner? Yep. So first what comes to my mind is there is no such thing as the right number, the right amount, or specific day in a week, or specific timing during the day. No, such thing doesn't exist. And that's why I feel when I got this question, I can already sense that that person is living so much in his mind that it's not even funny. And that shows that, how to say that, that's how he was raised to honor rules on how life should be, how life is, by somebody dictating how it should be, how it must be, and how it is. So I'm missing the sense of self in his own life. So if you're watching me, yeah, it's no, how to say, no judgment from my side. It's very normal what I see with people happening, and myself included. I was living quite often, not so intensely, but I was still following some, let's say, rules, what it should be, how it should be, right? When one day I came to the point that, like, no, my life is my life, and I build it how I want it, not how anybody else wants me to live my life. So whose life is it? Is it their life or is it my life, right? Like those stereotypes and rules and conditions and restrictions and walls and no, no. So my first tip for you would be let go of everything what you know and make an open space for new information to come. It might come from other people, but most likely I would say consult with yourself, because again you might fall to believe the opinions and the rules of others. So you can change from one rules to another rules, even if those rules don't resonate with you, even if those rules don't hit your gut by telling you that, yeah, this is the right one for you. So the answer to the question, how many times per week, how often should I have sex with my partner? I would say you need to talk first of all with your partner. And you need to get to know your partner to the point that you understand her needs of love, language of love, and needs of love, how she expresses it, what it means for her physical communication, how much she's into it, why if she's not so much, maybe why she's not so much. You need to develop that sense of vulnerability between you both. Otherwise it's gonna be like two separate people living in their mind, in their head, and guessing. So is it the right time for me now to approach in a sexual way? is it a good day of the week now to have sex? Really? No, guys, no. Just uh, that's why I adore so much vulnerability, because it opens up. It opens up pathways to the truth. To the truth, what the person wants, what the needs of the person are, what expectations are, and it opens up communication, pathways of communication. So that's what is bonding to people, not sex that's bonding, even though it's part of the bonding, yes. But the long lasting bonding is vulnerability. So if you can put yourself into that space of not being afraid to ask about, like, what are your sexual preferences? Or how often are you into it? Or is it too much, maybe? Like, just create the safe space for your partner to open up to you, to be vulnerable with you. And that's one thing that I see many people need to learn, how to create that safe space for the person to feel safe, to talk, to speak up, to open up, to show the deepest parts of themselves, and not to feel ashamed or blamed or guilt tripped, right? So, yeah, my best advice, not advice, the answer to this question is there is no one answer or another, because life itself is not black or white. It has thousands of shades of gray. Yeah, different shades of gray. And you need to find your own shade. You need to find your own shade, your own color. And but when you are in the relationship with somebody, right? So you're not alone anymore. So you need to learn how to cooperate with another person. It's not like, oh, now I'm horny, I want sex, so I don't care about your needs, about your wishes, or how you feel at this moment. I will just go and have it, right? No, I'm not talking about it. That's why relationship is partnership, and two people must cooperate together. So, wait a second, but where was it leading to? Yeah, so it's okay, finding your own shade, what suits you. And when it comes to the relationship, you need to know what suits you in order to open up even that communication with a partner, what suits to her. So then from that space you can find common points. How often is good for you and for her? And also, if actually this leads to another topic. I didn't expect to talk so long. This leads to another topic. If somebody is not compatible sexually with you, if one has bigger drive than the other one, I would say, of course, communication is needed, vulnerable communication, to understand why that sex drive is lower than yours, and even to find out why your own sex drive is higher than somebody else, right? And okay, I will not go now to this topic because I feel now how much I'm losing myself, because it's so wide and it depends a lot on each case. There is no one concept. Uh, because there are scenarios, there are cases when you can manage those differences by, how to say, not like healing together, but like being in partnership, in cooperation, right? Again, we are coming back to the same, that vulnerability. But sometimes it's just different person has different needs, and that's also fine, completely fine. So it's important to find out if to hypersexuality is coming from the space of the wound, or if to less sexuality is coming also from the space of some sort of wound, childhood wound, trauma, some pleasant, right? That is still coded in the system, energetic system and emotional system of the body. So this is important to recognize. Is it coming from the space of the wound, or is it something what is completely natural, completely healthy? It's just different. The same as two people come into a relationship and they are just different personalities, even though, yes, they do have something beautiful, something in common, what attracted them at the first place, but the main characteristics of personality, they are just not compatible. And that's completely fine, that's completely okay. You just need to let go and wish for a good luck. So yeah, okay, I'm going so wide now to answering this question. Another question. For today, I had two questions. Another question is it bad to feel self-confident? For example, and I got, I got an example of the situation that two people got into confrontation, into discussion, argue, I would say, and one is confident about their truth and another is confident about their own truth. And then two people were crashing their heads, right? Foreheads. And when is that time when you need to give up on proving yourself that yes, your own confidence about being right about what you're saying, and when you need to pursue? So I would say I had very, very similar, basically the same, I would say, situation very, very recently. And I see this trend happening in coaching community, this type of shadow, I would say, happening. It's okay to feel confident. It's okay to know your truth. Because otherwise, if you don't know your truth, you become like marionette that others are manipulating how they want to manipulate you, right? So it's very, very important to know your truth, to have that confidence of your own truth. What is truthful for you? The problem comes when the person tries to apply their own truth on everything around them, on everything what is external to them. And they see the life only through the lenses, through black or white. Or is like this, or is like that. And then what happens? Ego comes up. It triggers that no, I know it because of my experience, because I'm working with the people, and it's always a pattern, and that's my truth. And another person tries to tell their own truth. That is opposite, right? And because of this mindset that life is only black or white, because of that, I would say self-confidence can be he and not. Can come from, again, wounding or from the healed space. So when self-confidence comes from wounding, it looks and it feels that the person in the conversation, that they're blocking out any information that tries to come to them. It's like, yeah, I hear you, but no. Like, is not willing to open the mind to different perspectives, to I would say, even when the person is not willing to listen, to hear the story out, and immediately blocks it by their own truth, that for me tells that self-confidence is coming up from wounding. Probably, yeah, Rob, that's exactly what the person told that I was in confrontation with. That's exactly what happened with that person that I was in confrontation with. That he was like, and I was in confrontation with a coach, with an experienced coach, and I could see clearly, like, the inner child was speaking through that false sense of confidence. It was coming from the space of the wound. And she even mentioned herself by her own words, own voice, that, yeah, everybody were trying to shut me down in my childhood, and now I'm proving to everybody that I'm right. So it was something along those lines that she mentioned, that people used to put her down and shut her voice down. So she's not going to allow anybody else to do now. She's blocking herself from any information that tries to come her way, even to consider. So, okay, answering this question, like, when should how much should I be persistent with my truth? About the confidence. When the confidence is healthy and unhealthy, when should I stop the conversation? I would say you don't need to prove anybody anything. It's okay to let others know, but don't insist anybody else to believe your truth. Because of many reasons, people might not be open for that, and that's completely fine. But as more you persist pushing your truth on somebody else, because, yeah, it's confidence, right? Like, I know what I'm talking about. That's my experience. It's my pattern that I see in people doing this, and I know, I'm sure, I'm self-confident that that person is wrong. But what if not? What if not? What if partly they are wrong, but partly they are right? And by blocking the truth, the possibility to listen the other person out, to hear them out, you are blocking that part of their truth that could be your own truth if you just leave open space for what ifs. And that's what I like doing in my own life, actually, from early age, because of my own curiosity. That's why I'm operating in this way. When I hear somebody else's truth, I don't rush to shut it down, to neglect, to push it away, that it's bullshit. I know how life is. Mm-mm. I leave open space. What if? What is there for me? Why that person is seeing that truth in that way? Does it have some validity in it or no? Like, should I, like, just the point, what I want to say, leave the open space for the person to leave the open space for yourself to hear others out and do whatever it takes to reduce resistance. Because that any confrontation with another person trying to prove your point, to prove your truth, that yeah, I'm right and anybody else is wrong around me, immediately shows self-defensiveness. And if somebody is self-defensive, they are operating from the space of fear. The space of fear from some unpleasant experiences in the past that are not healed, that are not made peace with. So also, so yeah, this my best answer is, and what I am applying in my own life, don't try to prove your point. It's okay to discuss. It's okay sometimes even to argue, but don't ever fight with others because of your own truth. Even argue is not something what I would support. Even though I find myself as well time after time arguing, but now it became even faster and faster to uh, snap myself out from that state of emotional affection, right? Affect. And for the ending, what I want to add, what I want to say that when after I participated in the Gestalt group, it's one of therapy methods. It developed my sensoric abilities even more, my awareness. And when it comes to this topic of self-confidence, right, being self-confident, knowing your truth, I want to say that all environment is trying always and always is trying to tell you something through other people, something about yourself through other people. So for example, yeah, let's take that example that I had, that confrontation with that coach. She was telling some points that were so much straight to the point, relevant in my life, and so few things that were completely out of the reality. Let's say, missed the point. But if I was blocked completely and pushing her truth away from me because of my ego, yeah, I know my truth and so on, I didn't receive that information, but I did. And now I am applying in my life what she told. But the question is, if she continued to be blocked out and didn't allow any of information that came from me even to consider, then she missed out on the message that the universe tried to tell her through my expression. And it's always like that. Always, always, always. Every single person, every external element in the environment, whether it's person, animal, situation, place, everything is a message for us personally. Our external life is just a manifestation of our internal relationship with the self, of what is going on internally. If you keep facing resistance and confrontations in your life at the first place, this fact itself tells a good message for you. So I would invite you to, who has such kind of situations, I would invite you to let the guards down. Let the guards down to be able to receive the message. And observe your environment, observe what people are talking, even random communications that are not connected with you. Everything is a message that you need to hear. The question is, do you hear it? Are you listening? Okay, guys, that was it. So let me make a resume. How often should I have sex with my partner? There is no such thing as when, how much, how often. No rules. It's up to you. You need to communicate your needs to your partner. She or he must know what your needs are, the same as you must create the safe space for your partner to express their own needs, wishes, and desires. And then from that point, you see if you find a common point, or do you need to work on something to improve in order to step on the same page of sexuality in this case, or no? So, yeah. And vulnerability is the key in creating that safe space to open up for another person. So get the fuck out from your head, from your mind, and open your heart up in order to communicate such things, what your needs are. Second question about self-confidence. Is it okay to be self-confident? And should I pursue with my truth on other people? So in this case, it's very okay to be self-confident. It's very okay to know your truth, know your values, know what works for you. And at the same time, I would say I invite you to stay still open to other truth that might contradict your own, but go within. Your intuition, your gut will tell you what resonates with you or what doesn't. But with your mind and with your emotions, I would say leave this open space to accept the truth of another person, even though if you are feeling confident about your own truth. Because it's very possible that you might be in a blind spot at this period of time in your life that you are not able to see or perceive something that another person sees. So yeah, so it's just important to leave open mind, leave the energy open for the truth of other people. Yeah, for the truth of other people, and always consult with your gut. Because only when we leave open mind and allow information to go through us, through our consciousness, through our awareness, without any resistance to push it away, that no, it's not my truth, we are able to filter very well what is authentically our truth. And most of the time, I would say we are expanding our truth when we are not pushing away of the truth of other people. So for now, that's it. And this time, oh my god, it was quite a long video. Anyway, it was fun in this orange color. And see you next Tuesday. Probably will be the same time, 3 p.m. because at this time I can have my shadow here finally, and it's so hot, so hot, but I kind of like it. Dobro, guys. If you have some other questions, please, actually, not please, but that you always have a chance to ask, so it will be answered. The same as written in the Bible: knock and it will be open. Ask and it is answered. So you just need to use the resources around you because you always do have those resources. Just when we don't feel good in life, we don't see those resources, right? So we are not approaching those. When those always were around us, we were just blinded. That's why I was talking about that being in the blind spot, that not always we are aware of everything, and other people helps us to become aware of that. So I'm enjoying this answering questions so much that it's so hard for me to stop. You see. See you guys. Enjoy. And now I need to turn you off. First this